In this lesson, we are going to implement sign-in action. When user select a product, add it to cart and click on proceed to checkout, we show sign-in page. In this lesson, we implement the sign-in button, and when user click on sign-in with correct email and password, we log in user and we show the username in the nav bar and a drop-down menu like this. Also, we implement sign out action. To get the source code of this lesson, go to repository on GitHub, and in the comments section, you can find video 23 complete sign-in screen and compare your code with mine. Let's get to code. Here is the plan to complete sign-in screen. Let us start by going to sign-in screen and implement onSubmit for the form element. Set onSubmit attribute to submit handler and define submit handler function as an async function that accepts event as an argument. So right before return, define submit function, and inside that call e.preventDefault to prevent refreshing this page when user click on sign in button. Then create a try catch block, and in the try block we are going to send an AJAX request to backend for /API/user/signin. That's the API that we created in previous lesson. I'm going to use this syntax using await axios.post. So it's a post request. The URL is this, and here is the body of this request. I'm going to pass email and password to this API as a post request and get the response and extract data from the response here. Let's import Axios, and here it's time to define email and password. Email and password are state, so I'm going to use state to define them at the beginning of sign-in function. Right before submit handler, define email as a state hook, set the default value to empty string, and import useState from React. Do the same for password, and set password. We need to go to the elements, form control for email and password, and set onChange for email input box to set email, and the value is the value that entered in the text box, and set onChange events for the password to set password hook. Save the file, and here console log the data. Let's check the result. Click on a product, add to cart, proceed to checkout, and here we are going to test. First of all, open inspector, right click inspect, and go to the network tab and click on sign in. Great. As you see, we have signing API request here, and the result is this. If we check the console log, we have this log here, and we need to save this information in the store and local storage. Let's go for them. To access to the context that we already created in store.js, we need to use this line of code. Right before submit handler, define state and dispatch, rename dispatch to context dispatch, and it's coming from use context. Use context is coming from React. Let's import store. Press tab to import store from /store. It's time to dispatch an action using context dispatch. It happens right after successful login at this point. So call context dispatch and pass this object. Type of action is user sign in, and the payload is the data that we get from backend. The payload is gonna be data. So when we dispatch an action, we need to set the type of action and the payload that we pass along with this action. Let's go to store.js, and at this point we are going to define an action for user sign in. It's very simple. As a last case, define this case user sign in, and what we return is to keep the previous state and update the user info based on the data that we get from backend. Save the file, go to sign in, and right after updating the store, use local storage to save the user information in the browser storage. So get rid of console log and replace it with local storage.setItem. The key is user info and the data is the data that we get from backend, but we convert it to a string because data in the local storage should be as a string data type. After this, we need to redirect user to the redirect variable. First of all, define navigate. Right here, use navigate is coming from React router DOM, and then call navigate after local storage.setItem. It's gonna be this. We navigate to the redirect URL, but if it does not exist, go to the home page. At the end, if there is an error, just alert invalid email or password. Save the file and let's check the result. Let's enter wrong email and password and click on sign in. Invalid email or password, and we are getting this API error. And this time I'm going to enter the correct email and password and click on sign in. As you see, I will be redirected to the shipping page. Good. Let's show the user name in the header after successful sign in. To do that, go to the app.js, find the cart, and inside the navigation, I'm going to fetch user info from store. Scroll up, find the state, and from the state, get user info. Scroll down, right after the cart link, check user info if it does exist and if it doesn't exist. So here I need to show username and here I need to show sign in button. Let's start with the simple one. If user info does not exist, show sign in button. It's a link, class name is nav-link, and we redirect user to the sign in page. Otherwise, if user is already logged in, create a drop-down, navigation drop-down using this code. It's coming from React Bootstrap, and the title of this drop-down is userinfo.name, the name of user. Inside that, I'm going to show two links. The first link is user profile, and second link is order history. We implement these pages later. Let's import nav dropdown, scroll up, duplicate nav, and rename it to nav dropdown. Here is the result. Let's implement sign out, create a navigation dropdown divider after order history, and define sign out link like this. Set class name to dropdown -item and unclick to sign out handler. Let's implement sign out handler, scroll up, right before return, define sign out handler as an arrow function and call context dispatch, and the type of action that we are going to dispatch is user sign out. Let's get context dispatch from use context here, get context dispatch, and go to the store.js and define user sign out. After this case, define user sign out like this. We keep the previous state and set user info to null. Save the file, go back to app.js, and after dispatching this action, clear or remove user info from the local storage. And go to store.js, scroll up, and for initial value for user info, we need to check the local storage. It is very similar to cart, so right before cart, I define user info, check the local storage for user info, If it does exist, use json.parse to convert user info string to a JavaScript object. Otherwise, make it null as a default value for user info. Save the file and check the result. As you see, when I refresh the page, I can see my name here. Let's sign out. Awesome. It's sign out. And if I refresh, I'm still sign out. Let's sign in again and click on sign in. By default, I will be redirected to the home page. What if I type /signin? As you see, I will get the sign-in page while I'm already logged in. Let's fix this issue. Go back to sign-in screen and define use effect here. Inside the use effect, check user info. If it's already exists, redirect user to the redirect variable, and inside the dependency array, enter all variables that you are using here, including navigate, redirect, and user info. Let's get use effect from React and get user info from a state. So deconstruct user info from state. Save the file and check the result. If I enter /signin and press enter, I will be redirected to home page. So it's not possible for a logged in user to see sign in screen. But if I click on sign out and click on sign in, this time I can be here. As the last part of this lesson, I'm going to change the alert from this ugly alert to a beautiful one. It's super simple. Let's go to the terminal, open a new terminal, go to front end and install React-Toastify. And go to app.js and import toast container from React-Toastify. Find the header and right before it, define toast container and set position to bottom center and set the limit to 1. We are going to show only one toast at a time. Go to sign in screen and instead of this alert, use this code. Let's import toast from React-Toastify. So you will have toast from this package. Then go to app.js and right after toast container, import react-toastify/dist/react-toastify.css. We need to have the CSS of React-Toastify in our application. Let's check the result. Enter wrong password and click on sign in. Awesome. We are getting this beautiful toast at bottom center. As a last part of this lesson, I'm going to change the static error message to the error message that we are getting from backend. I mean, this error message. When I enter wrong data, I'm going to show the message right here, not the static one that I entered here. For this purpose, replace this error message with get error, and it's coming from where? From utils here. Save the file and enter wrong data. Awesome. Invalid email or password. Great. We successfully implemented sign-in action. Let's check what we did in this lesson. In package.json, we installed React-Toastify to show error message. In app.js, we imported toast container and toast CSS. Also, we have used the user info in the React context. And if user info does exist, then we show a drop-down that shows the username and two menus, user profile and order history, and also a divider and sign out. In the sign out handler, we dispatch this action, user sign out. In the store.js, we read the user info from local storage, and we added two new actions in the reducer, user sign in and user sign out. And the most work of this lesson was on sign in screen, and here we get the user email and password. On submit handler, we pass them to the sign in API And if the data is correct, we save the user in the local storage and in the React context and redirect user to the redirect URL. That's it about this lesson. Until next lesson, bye-bye.